Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm Katie Caragio, Realtor with Intero Real Estate Services. I'm here in Campbell, California at Flight's Restaurant with Alex Hult. So, where are you originally from?
Born and raised in Borlänge, Sweden.
Really?
2 hours north of Stockholm.
Cool.
Yeah.
When did you move here?
I moved originally to Vegas in 2009, 2010. And then I was there having a lot of fun for a little bit. And then I met my wife out there. She was Miss Nevada at the time, so we had red carpets everywhere. And I was like, I need to get this girl out of here. And then we ended up moving here.
That's awesome.
So I think it was 2012 we moved back here to the Bay Area.
Cool. Is she originally from here?
Yeah, originally
Oh,
from
okay.
here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And all her family's here?
Yeah.
Cool. What made you decide to open this business?
Well, originally I opened Hult's in 2013, and it was basically because my wife told me to get a real job. And I always thought it was fun with restaurants and lounges and nightclubs. And we were talking about starting a family at the time, so it made sense to do a restaurant versus nightclub. And then my mom had opened some restaurants, so I guess I kind of grew up in the business a little bit.
Wow, that's awesome. How did you get started?
Just kind of on a whim a little bit. We walked down to the farmer's market one day, and
The Los Gatos Farmers
yeah.
Market?
And I said, like, we need to get a building like this that's
Yeah.
just kind of outdated and needs a little love. And no matter what you do with it, people are going to like it because it's going to be updated and nice and fresh. So we actually called when we saw that it was on the market and was able to pick it up.
Wow. And now there's like a lot.
Now there's a few
If you
clients.
want to continue to expand.
Yeah, we have, let's see, 4 open and 3-4 more in the pipeline.
So where are all your locations?
Las Vegas is the newest one. That one we opened mid 2019, right before the pandemic. It's crazy busy right now over there. It's right across the street from Caragio.
Wow.
Inside the Miracle Mile shops.
Whoa, that's so cool.
It's a prime location. It's very big. It's like 300 seats. So we do crazy volume there. And then here in California we have Burlingame, Los Gatos, and Campbell.
Wow, that's awesome. Clearly
Yeah.
you have a good concept.
It's exciting. We actually just got picked up by Franchise Creators.
Wow.
So it's the nation's biggest franchising company. So
cool.
we're going through the process of signing all the paperwork and doing all that. And then I think in about 30 days we're going to start selling franchises.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congrats. That's a
exciting.
milestone move.
Totally.
That's the dream
fun.
for restaurants,
That
I feel
is
like.
the dream. Yeah.
What drives you and what motivates you?
Honestly, I think I had a lot of self-motivation coming up from being a pro hockey player. And then after I met my wife and we started a kids family and that whole thing, that kind of became my motivation. You know, you want to provide for your family and make sure they're looked after and get a good life. So it's a little bit of, I guess, personal goals and family.
That's awesome. What was it like when you first started?
Horrible.
A lot of learning curves?
Yeah, I think I made every mistake there is in the restaurant handbook.
Naturally.
Oh yeah.
That's how you learn.
I was just winging it, doing whatever I thought, and I learned fast that was not the right way, and I had to listen to a lot of people, and I was very lucky to have some great mentors along the way that kind of gave me tips, and just behind our restaurant in Los Gatos is Manresa, which is a 3 Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
One of the most famous chefs in the world, David Kinch, runs
Yeah.
that restaurant, and he kind of helped me out a lot in the beginning, kind of gave me all the insights to the
Wow.
business. Yeah, really.
What a mentor, the mentor of all mentors.
Yeah, a little bit like that. And I got very lucky. There's another guy too. It's pretty private, so I'm not going to mention his name, but one of the top Silicon Valley figures very early with all the big companies, and he's been kind of coaching me along the way too. So I've been able to pick up a lot of information along the way.
Yeah, so that sounds like you have like good connections.
Yeah, very lucky.
Yeah, he actually just opened a restaurant in Aptos, which is where I grew
Yes.
up, and he opened a little pizza place. And I remember one of my friends went, they're like, oh, a Michelin star chef opened a restaurant here, and I was like, shut it down. There's no way. This is like the smallest little beach town. Like they didn't even want to add like more like Taco Bells or anything because they're like, we don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And so it's so crazy. But yeah, I love this.
But it's
food.
pretty casual,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
Oh, it's
haven't
so
been.
casual.
Yeah.
They have like a Aperol frozen drink that's really popular.
That sounds delicious.
The line for it was a little extreme because it's like one line, and I went during COVID, so it was like one line to like do a takeout order or like go to the bar or get a table, and it was just like the one line thing. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I was like, I
There's a
don't
lot
know
of
if I want to
learning, I
wait.
guess.
I was like, I don't want to wait that long again. We already asked that. What are your goals over the next year?
I think rolling out the franchise model and kind of onboarding our first franchise locations, wherever they're going to be, will be like my biggest undertaking for this coming year.
And you think you're going to do that this year?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. So exciting. What are your greatest challenges?
Staffing. Staffing is very, very tough right now. I don't agree with all the political climate that's there right now. You know, I understand during COVID, like, of course there had to be help for the people, but now you're at this breaking point where you can run your business. No one has full staff.
No.
Because people don't want to work, because it's easier to sit at home and get free money from the government. So there has to be a balance in that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And
Yeah.
then there's a lot of places that are paying really high wages that it's just hard to compete with it.
Well, you
You're
just
not
have to,
corporate.
because there's no workers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they gotta let the workers go back to work.
Right? So hopefully when the extra money from unemployment ends at the end
Yeah.
of the summer, things will go back to
Hopefully.
normal, please. What were the factors that made you choose this neighborhood? And also Los Gatos too.
Campbell was just a really kind of happening place. A lot of young families, first home buyers, kind of moved here like 5 years ago, roughly when we started flights here. And this opportunity came about, and I was like, dude, I love Campbell. It's so much fun there. Let's do this. And you know, we've been loving everything about Campbell since then. And then I was fortunate enough to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Los Gatos. So I was able to make some, I think, positive impacts to that town, where now we're starting to see the fruit of that, where it's a little bit easier to get your business started there. There's less empty storefronts, a little bit more people on the streets, more
Yeah.
energy, more vibrancy. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Were you part of the Parklet thing for the commerce?
We were pushing that back a long time ago, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, I don't know if you're familiar with like Psalm TV, but they did an episode on LA, and they were talking about restaurant owners and how like California wasn't going to let people go on the streets and like sell alcohol. So it's so crazy to hear that from like a year ago, and then fast forward to now,
Yeah.
and it's like to go market. I was like, there's some great things that came out of COVID, and
Totally.
to go drinks is definitely it, and like
No
more
traffic
outdoor
and to-go
dining,
drinks.
yeah, and more outdoor
More
dining.
outdoor
yes.
dining, I guess. Fair compromise.
Right? Have you witnessed any significant changes since moving here?
I mean, it's Silicon Valley. I feel like it's moving every day.
Yeah.
There's like a new building pops up here. This happens there. Yeah, it's always something going on here.
Why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
I think that with Amazon taking over so much of kind of the retail shopping, you don't have less people that needs to go down to the local towns. And if we don't continue to push that trend of like, hey, we got to support the locals, we got to get to the local restaurants, we won't have local businesses, and it will all be, you know, shopping on Amazon and Applebee's and McDonald's.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
don't think anyone wants, but they forget that that's kind of what it leads to. They make those kind of decisions. So.
Yeah. What is the most memorable moment with a guest?
Ooh.
You can think of one, and we can see if you
Yeah,
don't
I
want.
think the best one was first weekend when we opened Hult back in the day in 2013. There was a really fancy group of like 3 couples. They were very well dressed and probably very rich. And I came out with a tray of champagne because their food was taking a little long. And I was talking to them. They were laughing, and one girl went kind of like this and flipped the tray literally 6 glasses of champagne dumped over one woman, and she handled it amazingly well.
At least it was champagne and not red wine, because I've definitely done that before, and it was like 12 drinks, and it was a 12 top, and none of the cocktails were the same, and I literally tripped over like a chair and just like all in front of it,
No
just
good.
face first, and they all just were like, don't worry about it, we'll get another one, we'll paper those ones too, and I was like, great.
That's great.
Thank you.
So, obviously I got a little shocked that happened. And the first thing that came out of my mind was, we called that the Swedish champagne shower. And then it was like silent for like a few moments. And then a couple of people started laughing at the table. And then it gets like kind of silent again. And this, like, I swear she was like 85-year-old lady, kind of like poked my back. Can I get one of those Swedish champagne showers too? Like with a big grin, and then the whole restaurant started laughing.
Oh my gosh.
It was a pretty good moment.
That's hilarious. What else do you do besides work?
I like to play poker. I like to watch hockey. I like to hang out with my little daughters and spend time with my family.
Do you have a favorite hockey team?
The Sharks.
Naturally.
I guess
The
you
Knights.
can't really do both because they hate each other, but I like both.
That's funny. Seattle's getting a hockey team.
I heard.
And I love hockey, but I was like, of course they get one when I'm moving back to California,
There you
know? What is the best way for customers to contact you?
I think I'm very approachable compared to most people. My cell phone number is on all the pages, and my email is everywhere, so it's pretty easy, I think.
Okay, cool. What does the future hold for you?
Hopefully opening a lot of restaurants, helping local small business owner open up their first business and help them through that process, and have a bunch of franchises throughout the country.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
If a young person asked you for advice on how to live their life, what would you say?
I think the best advice I ever gotten is that you got to believe in yourself and that you can accomplish anything if you work really hard. Because I really believe that that's the case. Like, if you never give up, you just keep pushing. Like, one way or another, it's gonna get there.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of people just don't really hone into like your mindset and everything that you put into it, and I just didn't realize how influential it is in having a business be successful.
Mm-hmm.
When your life is over, how do you want to be remembered? Kind of
Ooh,
dark.
that's a deep one.
I know.
Hopefully as a great dad, good friend, and a guy that bring the fun to the room.
Okay, well, that ends all the questions that I have for you.
Great.
I'm so thankful for you to come in
Of
on your
course.
day off when you're closed and meet with me.
Again, I'm Katie Caragio, Realtor with Intero Real Estate Services, and this is Alex Hult, owner and founder of Parklets Restaurants.